All right, this is lesson 1.3, activity 2. Throughout the unit, you're going to be using a simulation called the natural selection simulation. A simulation is a type of scientific model. Models are helpful for studying changes in populations because in nature, these changes happen very slowly, and it might take a million years for something to happen, for a change to occur. So since a simulation can show changes in a population much more quickly than they happen in nature, they're important tools for biologists who study populations of organisms. So today we're going to focus on setting up populations of organisms in the sim and observe the variation in traits that occurs in the populations. So before we get started with this lesson, you need to download the natural selection simulation. So you cannot um, access this on your iPad by clicking in Amplify. You have to go to self-service and search natural selection simulation just like you did for metabolism. So it is an app that you have to go to self-service to download. So um, you need to go to pause the video, go to self-service, type in natural selection, install that app. Once that app is installed, come back to the video. So now that you have downloaded the natural selection simulation, anytime you get to a lesson and it asks you to go to the sim, you have to use the app. And I will remind you that um, in each lesson. So I'm going to open are you using an iPad? No, I'm not. So I'm going to open the simulation and explain how to do this lesson. So blah, 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 come on. I had it open too, and then I closed it because I wanted to show you guys, and then now here we are, waiting forever. All right, so in this in this simulation, there are 3 organisms, and you can see those organisms over here. So abiotic factor means non-living. So you can see temperature, rainfall, surface color. These are things in the simulation that are not living. The biotic factors are things in the simulation that are living. So there's 3 types of organisms. There's thorn palms, which are plants. There is australopes, animals that eat thorn palms. And there's carnithons, which are animals that eat australopes. So these organisms are not real, but you can learn about populations of real organisms from observing these organisms in the sim. Thorn palms, australopes, and carnithons have many of the same features that real organisms have. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to open the sim if you don't have it open already, and you're going to explore. You're going to play around and see some things that you can do. So I want you to pause the video, go explore the sim, check it out, and then come back and play the video, and I'm going to go over some of the features. Alright, now that you have explored the simulation, I'm going to go over a few of the features of the simulation. So the first thing you can see is that if I click on a population, which is a living organism, I can turn them on or off. So you can see here, if I zoom in, if I click the thorn palms, it goes away. So all the thorn palms that were on the screen are now gone. So I can do this with each of the biotic factors. I can turn them on and off. So they're all on right now. Once you click on one of these factors, you can then change a number of different features. So it has a color, it has armor. The australopes have armor. They have neck length. They have jaw strength. Poison levels. There's different features of every different organism, and so you can change those here. Individual organisms can be investigated in more detail by zooming in or moving around the environment. So I have it zoomed in already, but I can zoom in and then I can drag it around, or I can zoom back out and move it around. So you could look at organisms this way by zooming in and moving around, or zooming out and moving around. So if I am in an organism, like right now I'm in the Australopes, I can change the different traits of the organisms. So the feature is that this organism has fur, but I can change the trait as being more fur or less fur. So if I go in here and I zoom in, you can see that as I move it to the right, you can see that these little guys are, well, now I can't get rid of it. These little guys are getting more fur, and I move to the left, less fur. So that is their specific trait of the feature fur. So by moving this, I can change the trait level, where to the right means more of that trait, and to the left means a lower end of that trait. Then there's a variation slider. So I can set this as the trait, and then I can have it vary. So you can see the dominant is here, but then it's varying. So the more variation I have, you can see there's more Australopes that have different amounts of fur. So there's different amounts of Australopes with different traits. So I understand that at this point, this could be really confusing. We are just beginning this unit. This is the second lesson in the unit. You're not expected to remember all this. I am showing you the different features right now so that you can come back at a later point. First, so you can learn it right now, how to navigate the sim, and then you can come back at a later point and look at this video if you need to remember how to change something. You're also going to practice this in this lesson. So the last thing I want to show you is that you can investigate populations by looking at the individual populations. You can just look at them and see that these, like these Australopes, some of them have more fur than the others, or you can actually select on one, and then you can look at their trait levels for all their different features. So for the fur feature that it has, it's got a trait level of 7. The color feature has got a trait level of 5. So you can click on all the different organisms and see that they see their trait levels. Okay, so now we're going to move on to, now that we know how to use a sim, we're going to move on to the sim activity for this lesson. Each activity in this is going to have a unique sim mode, and so you need to be paying attention every time you do the sim, because this first thing, it says to open the sim and open the explore variation mode. So I, in my class, call this up here the hamburger, and so you can see that there's a bunch of different modes that this sim will work in. So it told us to go to the explore variation mode, so I need to make sure that I do that first. And then it says to complete the missions below. I do not need to enter run or analyze to complete any of these missions, and I need to make sure that I need to turn organisms off that I'm not investigating. So I'm going to do the first two as an example, and then you'll finish it on your own. So mission 1, or first it says complete each mission below by adjusting the trait level and variation sliders. Zoom into the environment to observe the individual organisms. Mark each mission as you complete. Go. So the first thing, it says set up a thorn palm population where all the thorn palms have medium thorns. So I'm going to go to my sim. Yours will be an app, and I know these are thorn palms, and it says to set the population where all thorn palms have medium thorns. So I'm going to turn off these ones since I don't want to look at them right now, and I want to set it up where they all have medium thorns. So thorn size So these are the height of them, thorn size. So medium thorns would be 5. So you can see here thorn size is 5 is in the middle. So now that I've done that, I will go to complete. So then the next mission is set up a thorn palm population where thorn palms have many different thorn sizes. So if I remember before, to get many different thorn sizes, if you select a thorn size, I can't select multiple thorn sizes. What I have to do is I have to increase the variation. And so it says multiple, so I mean that's multiple, that would work. But it would also work at any of these levels also. So you can see that this one has a thorn size of 4, this one has a thorn size of 7, that one's 8, so there's multiple thorn sizes. So then I'll go here and I'll press complete. So then you're going to do this for the rest of these missions. There's 7, and make sure you press hand in when you're done. You're going to be setting up different populations in the sim and changing the traits of the populations. This is something that is only possible in this sim. This isn't how it happens in the real world. So just be aware that you don't actually do this in the real world. Go and select different features or traits of organisms. This is just a feature of the sim that's going to allow us to learn this. That's it.